Hello, Bane Farm fans. It's oil change day on the TW. Yep, this is the fun part. So you saw in the last video a little bit of chisel plowing action when I lost the camera. And after finding it, well, here we are filming again. Camera's still covered in mud. You can't see that, but at least clean the lens off. And we gotta twist and twist and twist to get the oil plug out. We're doing this hot. I like to think we're better off getting the oil hot. It'll flow out easier. And not to mention, we'll say suspend all the whatever stuff in the oil we want to drain out of the pan. Oh, why is there like a ill-placed burr? And why is Dad making so much noise in the background rototilling the garden? Now, being the end of April, it's really nice and dry and things are going pretty well, surprisingly, for how the month started. I was afraid it was going to be a flooded. That is not the bucket. That just shoots right out of there and all over my boot. What a glorious mess. Well, at least that'll settle the dust right there. That is some fast-flowing oil. And the problem is we have to sit here and watch it. Lovely. Ta-da, problem solved. It's like kitty litter, right? Dusty gravel. That, I hope there's not more than 5 gallons of oil in there. But watch it, its stream is getting weaker. As there's less oil, I gotta keep pushing the bucket over. And at the very end, it's just gonna run down. And the worst part's gonna be changing the filter, which we'll get there. And that's just gonna coat the side of the block in oil. That'll be a blast, but hey, it'll stop the rust, right? Well, let's go find the filters, and this is going to keep draining and draining unless it goes wrong. Well, I'll get back to you with the filter changing action. Oh, move some more. Don't dribble all over the driveway more than we have to. Well, this is the fun right air filter. Go ahead and put this back in place. One thing checked off the list. Don't always replace air cleaners every year. Sometimes go a year or 2, maybe 3 or 4. I like to think we can blow them out, get enough dust out, and reuse them some before having to get a new one. And this one's fairly fresh before we got it. Got the tractor. So we're hanging on with it. The seal around the outside is not fantastic, or touch everywhere by any means, so that's not great. I wonder if I can pull that out. This top side has just got it rolled in. I guess it's sealing, but you don't want it inside. It may like get sucked in or something. Well, now we're gonna play a fun little game of who put the oil filter on, whether I can get it on or off or not. Let's see what kind of mess we can make. Bucket's down there to catch some oil. Probably gonna miss a lot of it. It's gonna run everywhere, but where we want it to. And let's see if we got like Olympic grip strength. Yeah, sometimes that worries me, because that means it probably wasn't tight enough if I can get it off by hand. Typically I have to either, I usually have to use a filter wrench. And very rarely have I had to destroy it, but when I put a filter on, almost any other bolt, it's tight. Oh, there we go. Let's make that mess. It's dribbling out and running mostly in the bucket. Now this thing will probably hold a half a gallon of oil all by itself. The good news is it's coming loose. Anti-rust protection. That's how we can spin that to make it look good. Whee! It's like a 5-gallon bucket for a filter. Woo! Well, it's off. I don't know. There's no. It'd be really hard to sit this someplace and save space. I guess to have it up and down so I don't just make a mess everywhere. But hey, engineering in space. Do a little bit of cleanup there. Got ourselves a nice cleaned off seal surface because there's dust and dirt everywhere. All around it. It's hard to get back in there to blast it off with anything. And I guess I could have tried to put some sort of tray underneath or dustpan to catch the oil and not get it on the frame. But I figured might as well try to stop some rust. Okay, that looks clean enough. As soon as we can get it, I mean, it's going to be filtered immediately because the filter's right there. Oh, and it takes this big monster hiding over here. Like the one we took off. A 51777. So we got a lucky Wix filter number, shall we? So I didn't do. I must put it on dry. I got to oil your seal. Well, we got oil down there. Lube is lube, right? That was not a very clean box. Jeez. Oil that ring out. And that way it doesn't stick to the block. I've never had that happen. Except for with a Fram filter. And it left the whole ring. That was on a truck too. That was automotive. I wouldn't touch a frame with a 39.5 foot pole. Whee! Well, I say that's touching. Plus 3/4. Oh, actually, sticker says 1. Usually it's 3/4, but this says 1 to 1/4. So they don't want it coming off. It's going to be tighter than it was before. Well, I'll let you know next year if I can get it on or off, but that was a full turn after touching. Gonna make it all shiny. I need to go find a marker so we can write the date on it. Okay, sign and date your oil change. It's 4/28/24, and we have how many hours? 33:06. Okay. It's interesting to see, you know, how many hours we'll put on in a year. So I put the filter on before I ever plug the hole down here. I guess the pan's as empty as we're going to get it, even though it keeps dribbling out. It's a cast pan, not a stamped pan. I'm sure there's a lip in there, which is just delightful. So it'll still save a little bit of oil, and after you run it 10 minutes, the oil will look dirty already. So you always got to plug it before you fill it. Make sure this is good and tight. I've heard horror stories about people not getting the drain plug in tight, and then all that oil runs out and the engine locks up. Definitely don't want to do that. This is a solid, well, it's an inch wrench. See, this has got a cast oil pan because that's kind of part of the framework. Makes engine swaps on these really challenging, like when trying to put a Genesis motor in. Now, I'm probably going to hate myself for this. Changing the fuel filter here. And I don't have fuel in the top tank, just the bottom tank. So that could be really fun. Getting it primed back up. Maybe I should have parked next to the fuel tank so I could fill this up afterwards. Oh well, we got a little primer pump here and a bleeder screw on the injection pump. We should be fine. Just get some more diesel all over everything, priming it. That's all. Should have plenty of fuel in the bottom tank. That's going to take a minute or two of turning. Okay, things are moving. There we go, dribbling fuel everywhere. Yay! See, this other one's just just a fuel bowl essentially, a separator. Okay, well, we'll just let it drain out. That mostly misses everything and goes straight into our bucket to catch it down there. A little bit of warmth in the diesel fuel. I guess if it's recirculating and going back to the return, eventually it'll warm up everything. Okay, come on. Why aren't you coming off? Not that much thread there, is there? There we go. That's all of it. unused filter coming right up. Oh, lovely. Wow. Good thing the camera's not looking down at the ground. Ew, look at that. That is a lot of sediment. Hopefully that's not like tank rust. That's annoying. We'll quick wipe that out. We got a new square O-ring with oh, jeez. Look at all that. That was nasty. Guess I'll end up pulling the... I don't want to do that though. But I should. Pull the water separator. This is gross. Blech. Having a pick. It's going to be our friend to get that O-ring out. Plus there's another one hiding on the stem, we'll say. This holder, if I can get it off. That's got a big lip. That's just to ensure you have the proper flow of fuel through the filter, that little guy. And we're going to want to put those back on. We got a nice little kit with the filter. 3 flat ones. It's like they're different sizes or something. Y'all just kind of guess and hope for the best. I usually put the smallest one on the top and hope it stays while we're waiting. Because the biggest one usually fits too loose and will fall out. We got that one in nice and square. And then we get to fight which one goes in the bottom. I don't know why there's 3. I imagine one is for changing the water separator. That's my guess, or like emptying it out. We got that little guy. Hides up there. Right there. And a little teeny tiny one. A really little guy. Goes on the bolt that holds everything together. And this one's really smashed. Kind of hard to get it off, too. Down the hole you go. Now, brand new filter. Away we go. Plus we need the bottom. The bottom is the hard one. Get it. So you only have one edge. I'm just willy-nilly picking these things up. I don't know which one we need. As long as we can get it to fit inside. I don't see why it's not the correct one. Helmet fits. We can plop that right in there. That feels like it fits too. Put the number where we can see it. It's like we're sitting into place and just tighten the bolt away. Let's see what goodness is hiding in the water separator while we're at it. This could be entertaining. Let's see. Be another like rusty mess, I'm guessing. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that is a solid collection of gunk in the bottom of that. It's just lovely. I had to like poke my way through it to get the drain plug out. I pulled the drain plug and oh, but nothing came out because there was so much gunk. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, now see that's kind of clean looking in there. Got all the gunk out. Let's slip that back in place. And given the thickness of the gaskets and the fact that I really don't have new ones, we're just going to assume they're all good and reusable. Because why not? There's thick rubber. And I guess they're not that old. If they didn't fall apart in my hand, they got a chance of being reused. It's just a static, you know, this isn't a moving part, it's a static fit. So I imagine they'll just have to be okay, because I said so. highly recommend not doing this without almost a full tank, because then we could use gravity on our side and this wouldn't be a problem. So I'm going to be here a hot minute, twiddling the lever for the fuel pump, get fuel sucked up, and I've got this bleeder screw here loose, and that should, once we get fuel up to there, theoretically should be enough. I know how long it took me to get fuel. We almost have the glass part half full, so that's optimistic. And we'll just keep flipping away. Well, I thought I saw some little spurts of fuel. Oh, but we got a ways to go, I guess. We're just getting air out still. Eventually it'll be a good flow of fuel. Eventually. Oh yeah, look at it. It's wet, it's flowing out. Oh, we're squirting a little bit of air. Try to get all the air bubbles out, get a good smooth stream. Whew. Good practice, my fingers are getting tired. Well, I know that leak because we had it loose, the bleeder screw. You can see there's a collection of like wet schmutz, aka diesel-y, all around the pump here, little hand pump. And I'm going around and I'm getting a quarter turn on every screw that holds this thing together. Not long after we got the tractor, I had to go through and tighten up any bolt associated with mounting the injection pump on. And that's what worries me, is like that filter over there. Now I got it off by hand. I like things tight. It's not right if it's not tight. And I just keep finding so many loose bolts. Like the previous owner did not believe in tight anything, apparently. Time to see if we can get lucky on this big hydraulic filter. I can't, it's hard to get in there, so I got this wrench on it so I can do it one-handed. Oh, that's reassuring. Got our bucket ready to make a mess. This thing's almost as big as the engine oil filter. That's tightening. Oh, yes. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. You know, at least it's nicer than the 1086, where we gotta sit there and pull the cover off the side of the transmission and lose a half gallon of oil. I'll say I won't need to worry about my skin being dry today. I already did the diesel, so I won't have clean hands. I'll just have really well oiled hands. Oh, that's a blast. Lovely. Now this is a bit different type than I'm used to. The ring actually is separate from the filter. That's a weird collection of goop I'm getting out of there. It's not dirt. Like, it's not brown. Is there glue? I wonder if there's somebody put like glue or something? That's weird. Huh. This has a separate ring like the oil filter, or not the oil, the fuel filters did. And a little groove up here. That should be clean. It's all facing down. So, will you stay in place long enough for me to then quickly get the filter put up here? Oh, yay, it's stretched. Well, that was annoying. Got it on magically somehow. Trying to jam the rubber in there. And now we've got this other one back here. It's really hiding. Even dirtier, like it's been even longer since it's been changed. Assuming I can get the filter wrench on it. Maybe that's why nobody's changed it. There's not enough room down here. Whoops, I ran into a bit of a snag. Wrong filter number on the website for Wix. But I got smart and I have the front end jacked up. Mostly so I could get grease to go in this pin. But I can turn the front end as needed by hand to get to the grease zerks now.